welcome. We will go ahead and get started this evening, and we are so happy that you're able to join us. We are coming to you this evening from our home office in Bossier City, Louisiana, and I just want to take a moment to introduce myself. My name is Charlene, and I've been a curriculum development specialist with cyber.org for almost 3 years now. Before that, I have 20 years of experience as a former teacher and instructional coach, and I truly love that I'm still able to provide support to teachers through the work we do here at cyber.org. I'm joined this evening by my awesome coworker, Linda Morgan. I'm going to let Linda introduce herself.
Hey guys, my name is Linda Morgan. I am coming out of the classroom after 14 years. I have been with cyber.org for almost 4 whole months now. So super excited that you guys are here and just can't wait to share all of this awesome stuff. So welcome.
Thanks, Linda. You'll also see on the screen our emails, and Linda just put those into the chat. I do hope that you'll feel comfortable reaching out to us after this call with any questions that you might have. If it's tomorrow, next week, next month, we would love to hear from you. And so now you know a little bit about our team, and you know that our office is in Louisiana, but what about cyber.org? So at cyber.org, our vision is to build a future where the nation's cybersecurity needs are met by a knowledgeable, skilled, and passionate workforce. And we believe that classroom teachers are essential to that process. And since the majority of our team is made up of classroom teachers, former classroom teachers, we truly know and understand the impact that a classroom teacher can have. Our work, our professional development, and our curricula are all funded through CISA, and CISA stands for the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency. And this means that we're able to provide all of our resources to K-12 teachers in the United States at no cost. And you may already know this, but we are so excited to share all about it. We have our own cyber range now that is available again at no cost to K-12 educators in the United States. And this is a safe virtual environment for students to practice cybersecurity skills. We do have PDs coming up to learn more about the range. They are about an hour to an hour and a half. So I do encourage you to check our site. Linda has put into the chat also a link where you can learn more about the range, but also to check our events page where you can find more information about upcoming PDs. So our goal for the rest of this hour is to introduce you to our newest course, which is Cybersecurity Basics. And we're going to focus specifically on lessons and activities for middle school students. And those lessons will be from personally identifiable information, making strong passwords, multi-factor authentication, and secure network. And then at the end of the PD, we're going to visit our learning management system where we house all of our curricula and show you just how easy it is to access that. So we're going to start with an opportunity for you to collaborate in a breakout room by answering 2 questions on a Jamboard. So the first question is, what are you and or your school district already doing to make students more aware of cybersecurity? And the second question is like a fill in the blank. To me, cybersecurity is, and we have just some examples there: exciting, overwhelming, needed, relevant. So Linda has put the link for the Jamboard into the chat, and I'm going to switch screens here and go to that Jamboard. Oh, good. I see some of you are already there. And we're going to use this Jamboard twice this evening. So it's been split into part 1 and part 2. So we'll start with part 1 here. And here's this first question: what are you and your school district already doing to make your students more aware of cybersecurity? And then you can go to this arrow right there, and that will take you to that next question. And then if you go again, you'll see part 2. So stop there. Don't go any further yet. But what you'll do is we're going to put you into breakout rooms and discuss that in your breakout room. And then as you're discussing, please put some sticky notes. So to do a sticky note on a Jamboard, some of you may know this, but we'll run through it really quickly. You'll go to this fourth one down here, grab a sticky note, put test and save, and then you can move that around wherever you want. And if you choose to delete it, you can just delete there. So any questions before we put you into breakout rooms for this part? We'll probably have you there for about 5 minutes, and then we'll come back whole group. We ready, Linda? Okay. Welcome back. We hope you had some really great conversations in your breakout rooms. Linda and I were looking at the sticky notes and just kind of marveling at how we have, some teachers who are already incorporating it, and then we also have teachers who are looking for resources, especially to start next school year. So we are excited to have um, both here with us this evening. And then also, to me, cybersecurity is needed and can be overwhelming, necessary, but difficult, essential to know even at a young age, and crucial. Uh, we've kind of joked a little bit here in our office when we talk about cybersecurity, because we didn't have cybersecurity courses when we were in school. And just to kind of date myself a little bit, I did not even have my first email address until I was in college working on my undergrad degree. And I was so excited. I had to have a professor sign off on it so that they would issue me an email address. And now, my son, when he was in kindergarten, he was automatically issued an email address. So our students are exposed to cyber, and there's a great need for cybersecurity at these younger ages. And the struggle is trying to make sure that our teachers are comfortable teaching it, and also that it's taught in a way that our students can understand. And so, as I mentioned earlier, we are grant funded, and that means that we're able to provide our curriculum at no cost. And so, after you apply for access to our learning management system, which is Canvas, um, these are the courses that you are going to receive access to. Even if you're here this evening for Cybersecurity Basics, you're going to receive access to all of these courses. Uh, and then today, like I said, we'll focus on Cybersecurity Basics. And so just a little bit about this course. It's an introductory course for students in grades K through 8. This course is going to introduce cybersecurity topics that affect our everyday life in plain, simple language, making it accessible to all. And that means that it can be taught in any order and by any teacher. So we have this course divided into two primary domains: security and digital citizenship. Lessons in our security domain are going to explore the various ways that we protect data and information through people, processes, and technology. And we also look at the types of attacks that must be defended against, um, the concepts that are used to secure information, and then also physical assets. And lessons in digital citizenship explore how our actions affect the larger digital world. Um, we look at how ethics, laws, and policies affect our digital lives, and then what it means to be an informed cyber citizen. And so we'll start looking at a lesson in digital citizenship. So before we dive into the lesson, let's look at some of the really important details in the course that are included in each lesson. This is the cover page that you're going to see in every cybersecurity basics lesson. These are the teacher notes. We'll take a little bit of a closer look at the different components on this page. So I've zoomed in on that page just a little bit. And first, we have the domain that the lesson belongs in. Of course, this is in digital citizenship. And then the cybersecurity bundle topic, which is personally identifiable information. And next is the title, Risks and Benefits of Sharing PII. Each lesson has a focus question, and that's there to guide the lesson. And then in the overview section, you'll see a quick 1 to 2 sentence summary of the lesson along with lesson objectives. Lessons are split into 3 grade divisions. We have K2 lessons, 3-5 lessons, and 6-8 lessons. And it's important to note here that you're only going to see grade level designation on the teacher documents. The student handouts and the PowerPoints that students see aren't going to have the grade level designation because you might feel like you need to start with a lesson in 3-5 before you do the 6-8 lesson. So your students would not know that you're doing the 3-5 lesson. The approximate time required to teach the lesson. K2 lessons are written to take 15 to 30 minutes. 3-5 lessons are written to take 30 to 45 minutes. And then our 6-8 lessons are written to take 45 to 60 minutes. We specifically point out cyber connections within the lesson. And then for 3-5 and 6-8 lessons, we tie in a cybersecurity career. And so all of our lessons support our cybersecurity standards, and the lesson resources are right there at the beginning, so you can immediately see what you need to have ready before you teach the lesson. We've provided some background information to help support you in the lesson, and also if there is a prerequisite lesson that would be helpful to cover beforehand. And then last, we have a section for cyber terms that students may be unfamiliar with. Each part of the lesson has the puzzle piece icon, and these puzzle pieces come together throughout the lesson. So at the end of the lesson, they are all together and they help answer that focus question. Each lesson has a PowerPoint, so you'll see that display slide number, and then you can see that these lessons are scripted. And that scripting is just there as a guide. It's not a must say, it's not a must do, but instead, we want for our teachers to feel that it's there for them as suggestions if needed. And then inside this teal box, you'll see an important note. We have these teal boxes throughout our lesson that can have teacher notes, important notes, differentiation, suggestions, or even some teacher tips to help you make sure that your lesson runs smoothly. And then to conclude the lesson, we have a putting it all together section. You'll see that those individual puzzle pieces have all come together now. And this section has some final wrap-up questions. And then there are also optional extension activities if you want to expand on the lesson and extend your time on the topic. Okay, so this first lesson that we're going to look at is titled The Risks and Benefits of Sharing PII. And in this lesson, students are going to analyze various scenarios to discuss risks and benefits of sharing their PII. This lesson starts with the scenario. So here's the scenario. Lupi is looking at the information under profile on her school portal. A classmate asks her what she's looking at, and Lupi feels uncomfortable showing him the information. And so this is the information that she was viewing. And you can see the types of information that's included in her profile and why she might be uncomfortable with the classmate seeing it. You know, it has her student ID, her birthday, whether or not she is a car rider or a bus rider. And so we have students start to discuss why she might feel uncomfortable sharing that information with another student, but also why this type of information is important in a school setting for the school to know, and start to explain what personally identifiable information is. And then we move to discussing other places that may ask students for PII. And those other places, we have the doctor's office, online games, social media apps, um, other educational websites, online shopping, and then even community sports teams. And in this lesson, students are put into small groups and then they're assigned one of the places, and they discuss the kind of PII that could be found there and then why that's needed. So we have the doctor's office, and these are some of the questions that they are looking at together. Um, why do they need it? What kind of information could be found there? And then the risk and benefit. So we start with the doctor's office, who would have to have that information, why it's important for them, versus a social media app having that exact same information. And then this takes us to the second part of our Jamboard. And here there are 4 sample registrations. And so we're going to move back into breakout rooms. And in your breakout rooms, we're going to ask that you look over these registrations carefully and discuss the risks and the benefits of sharing the requested PII for each one. And then after the discussion, determine if you should share the requested PII by writing on your sticky note and posting. So there are 4 of them, and you may not be able to get through all of them in time, and that's okay. We just want for you to have an opportunity to look at some of these scenarios that are included with the lesson and have some experience discussing that within your group. So Linda put that Jamboard link back into the chat. Any questions before we move you back into breakout rooms? And you're going to go to part 2. No questions? Okay, Linda, you ready?
Good to go.
Okay, welcome back. And so those are the scenarios that are presented to students, and also those come straight from the lesson PowerPoint itself. Following those scenarios and those discussions is the putting it all together. And these questions at the end have students revisiting again the risks of sharing PII and considering the settings where it is necessary and appropriate. And the Cyber Career Spotlight for this lesson is a cloud architect. And this is a cybersecurity professional who creates and designs information systems to keep classified and sensitive information secure. And so that brings us to our next topic, which is passwords. And I know this is a pretty common topic among adults. 81% of data is breached due to weak passwords. And we know that we need a strong password, but also aside from having a strong password, we have to be able to keep our password a secret, but we also want to make sure to remember them. We don't want to write them down on sticky notes. We don't want to have it laying around where other people can see it. We have to also practice having a different password for each account. And so this is a topic that's really important to discuss with students as they're starting to make their own passwords for different types of accounts, including school and email and online games. And I always put this slide into PD because I saw this on social media. A friend shared it with me, and it makes me laugh sometimes. I don't know about y'all, but I don't have any more passwords left in me. And so I feel like this quite a bit. I'm like, oh, how many more times can I change this around to still be able to remember my password? But we know passwords are really important. And I have a video that I'm going to share with you here, just a brief video that highlights why we think this topic is really important. Give me just a moment to optimize my sound here for you.
You know, we've been hearing a lot about cybersecurity lately, largely because of what happened to Sony. Companies and individuals are more concerned about the safety and privacy of their information than ever. President Obama has unveiled a number of new proposals this week to crack down on hackers, and he plans to address this in the State of the Union speech on Tuesday. And it's great that the government is working on this, but the truth of the matter is we need to do a better job of protecting ourselves. You know, the most popular password in the United States is password 123. And as long as that's the case, we're vulnerable. So today we sent a camera out on Hollywood Boulevard to help people by asking them to tell us their password. And this is how that went.
We're talking about cybersecurity today and how safe people's passwords are. What is one of your online passwords currently? It is my dog's name and the year I graduated from high school.
Oh, what kind of dog do you have?
I have a Chihuahua Papillon,
And what's its name?
Jameson.
Jameson. And where'd you go to school?
I went to school back in Greensburg, Pennsylvania.
What school?
Hempfield Area Senior High School
Oh, when did you graduate?
in 2009.
Oh, great.
It's like my cat's name and then just like a random number.
Okay. Has you had this cat for a while?
Yeah, she's my childhood pet.
Aw. And what's her name?
Her name is Jolie.
Jolie. So like a password of yours would be Jolie and then a number.
Yeah.
Like number 1.
Like my birthday,
Oh, when is your birthday?
June 12th,
Oh, nice. And what year were you born?
95.
Oh, great. So Jolie, 6, 12,
95.
95.
Yes.
Got it.
So you mean to give my password right now? No, I cannot do that.
But we all want to know what it is so we can tell you if it's strong or not.
Oh my goodness. Let me think. Okay, one is Tel Aviv. Yeah. 4, 6, 8, and then Israel. It's only 3, but it's for me it's strong enough.
Ireland, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Gemma. 1, 2, 3. Spelled Gemma.
Well, most of them are Italian.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Like
so
what? Like what's a good Italian password?
my grandma's name,
What's your grandma's name?
Maria.
Maria. So Maria is your password?
Oh yeah, now you know my password. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, the important.
So we show that because it's funny and not funny how easy it is to get that information. So we have a question for you. How confident are you that your password is secure? And so we're going to use our reaction buttons, which you can find there at the bottom of your screen. If you think that it is secure, you're very confident, then go ahead and use the heart. If you think it's secure, use a thumbs up. And if you're not sure, use that kind of surprise face. Okay, good. I see some hearts. Oh, and we have a question in the chat, and I'm so glad that you have this, that you asked this, secure or strong. And so there is a difference with secure and strong. And what we're going to actually look at next is being able to test the strength of your password. And we have on our site a password strength tester. And what I want to say first, before you use this and before your students use this, is do not put your real password in. This is to look at how different combinations of words, letters, numbers make a password even stronger. So please make sure to tell your students not to put in real passwords, but instead we have our password site. Thank you, Linda, for putting that link into the chat. And we're looking at how strong your password is and how long it would take a malicious actor to be able to crack your password. So a password of just numbers 1, 2, 3 is a very weak password, and that can be found out in about a second. The word password, which is a common password, is also extremely weak. And then substituting some of those letters in password for symbols and numbers still is weak. And so you'll notice here that as we have these weaker passwords, the bar here is red. As we go to more moderately strength passwords, we have the bar turning yellow. We have I love pizza using a combination of letters, numbers, and symbols. And then a really strong password is cybersecurity is awesome using, we're using letters, numbers, symbols, and then also length. So this is something that your students can explore and you can use. And that takes us into our next set of lessons in security, which are passwords and beyond. And so we actually have 2 lessons that go under this topic, multi-factor authentication and making strong passwords. So just to go through these really quickly with you, multi-factor authentication looks at the various factors and students learn how this can help to prevent unauthorized users from gaining access to devices and accounts. And what students do in this lesson, the main activity is a research carousel, and students are researching these different types of factors. And in the research carousel, there are 5 different rounds, and students have seen this done really well digitally, but also on like sheets of easel paper, where the first round students are going to write out the definition of the factor. So you'd have the name of each of these 5 factors, one name on each easel piece of paper. And so round 1, everybody finds the definition of it and writes that on the paper. And then for the next round, you can rotate the papers around to the group of students. So now they each are looking at a new sheet of paper that has a new factor. The group before them has already written the definition, and now everyone is going to do examples of the factor. And then this continues for 5 rounds where they're finding different pieces of information on it and then discussing it at the end. And this can be done really well also using PowerPoint and sharing that. I've seen it done in Google Slides. And then the next lesson is making strong passwords. And this lesson utilizes that password strength tester, and students have profile cards on these fictional students, and they analyze what these students are doing within small groups. And so they're looking at the habits, password protection habits of each of these students. So they're discussing the profile card, what the student did right to secure the password, or some advice and some tips that they can give the student to help make sure that they're improving their password security and protection habits. And then this leads us to another security lesson, which is layers of protection for your internet voyage. This is one of our newest lessons, and I know that Linda is excited to talk with you about this lesson.
Absolutely. So once you get through the concept of making strong passwords and multi-factor authentication, then we start to look at using all of these tools together with the concept of layered security. And so the title of the lesson is Layers of Protection for Your Internet Voyage. And here we go. So the lesson launch for this one is focused on dessert. I don't know if I was hungry that day when I thought this up, but it starts out with the question: do you like ice cream? Do you like hot fudge? Do you like whipped cream? Do you like all of these things put together in a sundae? And so we talk about how each one of those items by itself is pretty good, but whenever we put all of them together, they make a really great dessert. And so one of the lesson extensions that we actually wrote into the lesson was you hosting a Sunday bar in your classroom that would talk about allow lists and block lists because those are mentioned in the lesson as well. Kids will notice that when they are at school, there are certain websites that the school internet prevents them from being able to access. And so those websites would be on a block list. And so the extension activity there is that they would create their perfect sundae, and everything that you had on the bar that they liked in their sundae would be in the allow list, and everything that they did not like would be in their block list. It would not be available for their sundae. The The main activity in the lesson, though, still combines that concept of layered security by having them build a boat in class for the penny activity. You guys have probably seen this before with a piece of aluminum foil that the kids fold into a boat, and then you try to fill that boat with as many pennies as possible before it sinks. So our activity has a little bit of a twist on it there. And so I think okay, yeah. So what the kids will do is you will actually give them just a regular sheet of paper, some crayons, and some tape. And so they will then, from those materials, have to build a boat that they could put into the water that would hold as many pennies as possible. And so what we see is that each thing could represent a different part of layered security. So the paper itself could be very much like your firewall, and then the coloring or putting the crayon wax onto that paper is a lot like changing the default password for that firewall. There's different types of tape. And so once they put all of that together, then their boat should be structurally sound enough to hold those pennies, which will represent their internet traffic usage. And so we talk about how with the boat individually, none of those items really work well to accomplish the goal of holding those pennies above water. And so with this particular version of the penny activity, the students get to see that the layered approach of putting all of those items together is what's required to get the job done, in the same way that we need firewalls and router passwords and multi-factor authentication and really good, strong passwords for our accounts in order to stay safe while we're online.
Thank you, Linda. I love how able to tie STEM into that. I think it's really great in the lesson that students are really going to enjoy. And yes, I like ice cream very much and sundaes. Okay, so for curriculum access, our learning management system is Canvas. And in our Canvas, it's set up a little differently. Teachers are the students. So in our Canvas, you would actually be considered the student, and students are not able to access our Canvas. We do not want any student data, so no PII from students. But within Canvas, you will be able to download materials that you need. You will receive access to all of our content, and we will not charge or take it away. That's a common question that Linda and I are asked as well. Is this like a 3-month trial, a 6-month trial? And then how much does it cost after that? Because I need to let my principal know. And the answer is always, we have no intention. We are not going to charge for it. Our grant has made this available. It's there for you. So there is no charge for K-12 educators within the United States. So Linda has shared the link again to sign up for this, and it was also in the email that I sent earlier today. And so you'll go to the site and click sign up, and then we have just a few questions that are on there. And again, that's to verify that you are a teacher, K-12 teacher within the United States. And we do ask that you use a school email address, because that makes it a lot easier for our team to verify that. It takes about 24 to 48 hours before you'll receive an email back. The email back will let you know that you've received access. It will have a password for you to use. And you'll go back to our site, cyber.org, go to login, enter those credentials, and of course you'll have an opportunity to change your password. So please do that as soon as you have access and you get in. And then once you log in and you're inside Canvas, your account will look a little bit like this. You're able to move and rearrange those tiles. So what you're seeing right now is how the Canvas looks within my own account, because I have the 3 courses that I access most often there at the top. But the course that we've covered this evening is Cybersecurity Basics. And it's going to be the one that has kind of the purplish background there. So you'll click on that. And you will see the 2 domains that we discussed, security and digital citizenship. So we'll look first at how to access security lessons. So you'll click on security, and you'll notice here in the upper left-hand corner, I want to point this out where it says discussions and files. Don't click that. This way is much easier for you to get the content. So just ignore that part in the corner, and you'll click on security. And this will take you to our lessons, our bundles of lessons in security. So you'll see lessons in K2, 5, 6, 8, and you'll see the attacks bundle. And then also we have the secure networks. That's where Linda shared her lesson there with you. And then also the passwords and beyond. If you click on that last one, the passwords and beyond, it's going to take you to all the lessons in the bundle. So again, here are the K2 lessons, the 3-5, and the 2-6-8 lessons. You'll see teacher notes. You can click on that, and that will give you a PDF of the teacher notes. Then the slides, the PowerPoint slides are included with that. And before you use the slides with your students, feel free to edit them, make any changes that you need. And we're also really excited that now we are able to provide both the teacher notes and the slides in Spanish. So that's available for you, for your students who need that. And then if you were to click on digital citizenship, that would take you to the digital citizenship lessons, and that's where you can access the personally identifiable information lesson. And then we are working on several lessons, and these will be finished this summer. So we have more lessons coming, threats and vulnerabilities, CIA triad, access control, intellectual property, rules, laws, regulations, ethics, and threat actors. And as those are finished, you'll see those and all the content available to you.